change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hello everyone, it's Tim Van Orden out on the Pine Valley Trail in Woodford, Vermont. And I'm in the middle of a big boot slog. And it is tough. This might be the toughest 5 miles that I've ever run, and I'm only half done with it. I've done 2.5 miles. I'm at the turnaround point, and wow, am I beat to all heck. The snow is over knee deep on the side of the trail, but it's so hard to work through because it's really, really dense. We got a lot of sleet and hail, not fluffy like normal snow, but this super dense stuff that doesn't stick to itself. It just slides out from under you on every step. And it's so heavy that walking on the side of the trail in the knee-deep stuff, which is what I usually do, is impossible. So I'm in the middle of the trail, but even though there's only 2 or 3 inches of this hail sleet combo in the trail, every step your feet just keep sliding out from under you, so it's exhausting. And I'm running at a 16 to 17 minute per mile pace and just really struggling. So why I stopped to make this video is that I noticed a technique that I was employing to help me keep going. In addition to listening to an audiobook, which distracts me from the workout, but not from the world, I also found a stick. Well, I made a stick, a switch, and I'm using it to clean up the trail because we had some really high winds last night, and a lot of the silver birch and beech trees have lost limbs that end up in the trail. So I'm using this stick to flick them off the trail as I go, and that keeps me mentally engaged. I've got a project, I've got something to do that keeps me immersed in the activity and allows me to forget about the discomfort, because you can see the twigs in the trail up ahead, and you anticipate and then get prepared. You modify how you're going in the trail. Maybe I'll switch to the other side of the trail, maybe I'll speed up or slow down because I don't like to stop to get that twig. So it's kind of like jousting in a sense, jousting at twigs, tilting at twigs, and it makes the run really interesting even though I'm devastated physically. This is something that I employ a lot, not necessarily with a twig and sticks, but when I trail run, I will kick branches, twigs, and even trees off the trail as I run. I've got all these soccer moves that I employ where I do fancy footwork to clear the trail as I'm running. I don't stop. I'll do the same thing with rocks. I'll time my steps perfectly so that the inside of my foot lands right next to a rock, which usually I don't kick a rock that's bigger than 4 inches in diameter, because that could lead to some damage. But 4 inches or under, I'll plant it just right so that my foot lands right next to the rock, and like a soccer ball, I will shove it off the trail. And I do the same thing with a lot of branches as I run. So not only am I out there running, getting a great workout, but I'm clearing the trail and developing all kinds of stabilizer muscle and supportive muscle strength as I go, and distracting myself at the same time. So this is something that you can employ. You can find some sort of game to play that gets you engaged in another task outside of the task that you find uncomfortable. So I'm still running. It hasn't changed that, but I've added something to the running so that it's not just running. Because wow, this is tough, my God. I'm really not excited about the 2.5 miles back to the car. I also do this when I run on the roads, which is one of my least favorite activities, with cans and bottles. In Vermont and many other states, there's a 5-cent deposit, and I will run along and often find a plastic bag, because a lot of people litter, and then use that plastic bag to clean up the roads. And it's not about the 5 cents per can or bottle. It does eventually add up to a race entry a month. I'll end up making about $30 a month just doing that, about $1 a day, believe it or not, on average. And I'm cleaning up the road, I'm helping pick up garbage, but it's like scoring 5 points in a video game. And you see the can and you get excited because it's like 5 points. So the part of my brain, the reward system, that makes you want or desire things is on alert. And this prevents the default network from getting engaged. And the default network is the system in the brain that causes rumination. It's the system in the brain that goes over mistakes, that goes over things that are uncomfortable or things that were done wrong, and keeps presenting them to you iteration after iteration, hoping that you learn from it. It's a learning tool that can be really problematic in a chaotic, incredibly complex modern world. But when you're engaged in a task that has the reward system online, the default network gets turned off. So if I'm out there picking up cans and bottles and on alert in this state of hyper alertness, then not only am I more engaged in my environment, but my reward system is turned on, my default network is turned off, and I'm not going over the failures of the day or the failures of the week or month or what kind of challenges are in front of me. Instead, I'm in the moment, focused on the world around me, and that hyper-focus also applies to the book that I listen to. I listen much better and I learn much more when that reward system is engaged, and this also creates an association. So what I listen to gets imprinted with the environment or with the task at hand. So I'll often be in a specific location, like for instance the one that I'm standing in right now, and I recognize a tree, and suddenly a quote from the book that I was listening to 6 months ago will pop into my head. And this happens to me all the time. Or I'm talking to someone about a book, a particular message in the book that was shared, and the moment I bring it up into my memory, I also get an image of the place I was in when I listened to it. And this happens so consistently that it's become a really neat feature of my life, that I can just recall a particular aspect of a book and it transports me right back to the place I was when I listened, which is usually out in the woods on a trail at a time that I was really happy and engaged. So it's a way for me to quickly change my state. So if you find yourself struggling, create a game. Find a way to distract yourself from the discomfort, but not distract yourself from taking action. Not distract yourself from getting engaged in an activity. Simply distract yourself from the comfort of the activity. And in doing so, really get present to the world around you, learn more, adapt more. Your body, your neuromuscular system becomes much, much more capable of learning new neuromuscular skills at the same time, and the benefits are just off the charts. So give that a try. Turn your workouts into games. Find a way to add some sort of stimulating element to your workouts, especially if they're challenging. And you may notice some really cool things showing up that you never experienced before. All right, time to turn around and distract myself some more. I love you guys. Oh, and by the way, Patreon, putting up some new podcasts in the next couple days, A Mind in Motion. And if you want to check those out, you have to become a Patreon supporter. Minimum of $2 a month. Not a day, not a week, a month. And you get a lot of new content that I don't post anywhere else. And for $5 or $10 a month, you also get to be part of group calls. We had a great call the other night, and I'm looking forward to some awesome calls in the future. We're starting to collaborate on some projects, and it's just a fun way to create community. So those of you that are already supporting me on Patreon, thank you so much. And those of you that are interested, again, it's $2 a month. If you don't like it, cancel. You get your $2 back, but you get access to more content. And that really helps me keep this channel alive. Okay, I love you. See ya. Bye.